will call our meeting to order. 3:32, January 10th, which is a wonderful day, my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! All right.
Yeah, so.
What are you doing here?
Duty first.
It's only
firstborn?
I'm a baby. I'm the last.
The baby.
Capricorns are
Oh,
tenacious.
But yeah, the fourth. So
that's why you're so nice, right?
I think
Because
so.
you're the baby?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah,
baby's
yes.
usually spoiled.
Oh,
There's baby. All right.
Okay,
Okay, so roll call. You got
got them.
Everybody that's here is here.
Did you get the minutes I sent?
And I got the minutes, and Linda O'Leary was kind enough to print them out. So here are the December meeting minutes. And they looked okay to me. My name was spelled incorrectly in the last, or in paragraph 8, so I fixed that.
Oh, okay.
But other than that,
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Give
I'm lucky
everybody-
with typos, you know.
That wasn't bad at all. So, when everyone has a moment to look through it, and we can vote to accept them, or if you feel like you want to have more time to look at them, we can vote on them next month.
All right, good. I read them.
I
You
wrote them.
So what do you need to look at them for?
Well, yes, printed out okay. I don't know why my machine didn't work.
We do that on a
I
regular basis.
I can't vote anyway.
he's not a member. He's a volunteer,
Thank God for small favors.
but he's volunteering, I
Yeah.
agree.
For sure. All right, so do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I move.
Second.
And all in favor?
Isabel
Aye.
second, Jim second, we all approved.
Okay. So, okay, on to commission staffing. Welcome to Terry Wood. Thank you so much for joining us and going through the process of being approved and all of that.
Did you go over the pay scale for her?
Oh, that's after the handshake, we'll talk about the pay scale. Yes. The longer you stay, the less you get paid. Is that what it is?
No, after 50 years, you get double your salary after 50 years.
You get a bonus for
Which
working
starts
on
out
the
at
parade
zero.
too, don't you?
I think so. That's
Volunteers only. Hey, how many people are we missing from the commission?
right.
Two?
Two, and then attendance-wise, today we're missing 2 people,
Right,
and then we have one
We have
slot
one member left.
Yes.
left to fill from
Still.
either the Democrat
Or
Party
unaffiliated.
or the Independent.
So I would ask anyone who wants to volunteer, volunteer.
Yes, and Autumn did mention she's been working on it. She hasn't had any luck to date, but she was going to be asking people she knew.
You know, one of the traditional reasons / excuse that a lot of people give is they can't do it in the middle of the day. But between Zoom and teleconferences, that becomes now more in the excuse phase than in the reason phase. Just,
so is this screen how you zoom people in?
you can. What we have Zoomed in, obviously, for 2 years we Zoomed.
Right.
So yes, that is, but as it stands now, the only person who has issues with the 3:30 meeting consistently, we only have one commissioner who has that problem consistently. So we've not been Zooming for the last 7 months or so.
Yeah.
We'll occasionally do a phone call, a teleconference, but not Zoom. Yeah. So hopefully people will.
So a Democrat or an independent, volunteer, please.
Or unaffiliated?
Or unaffiliated.
Or unaffiliated, wasn't that?
No,
No, it's different.
they are different. Independent is a party.
Is it?
Oh, is it really?
Yes, it is a party.
Registered.
Many
Yeah.
people make that confusion.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Unaffiliated is you're not registered to any party. Independent is a political party, like
Wow.
Democrat, Green Party.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Largest
Thank you.
party registration in the state is unaffiliated. Over 1 million unaffiliated voters.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, you mean use, right?
Unaffiliated.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
use.
Yeah, I thought
Can you
meant
imagine if
use.
either of the major parties spoke to them instead of their
Yeah.
wings.
And independent is about 20,000.
Okay.
Could be off on that, but it's, yeah,
Interesting, okay,
actually registered in the independent party.
got it.
Okay.
Well, that opens up another, if you are unaffiliated,
Yeah.
please consider
Joining us.
volunteering and joining us. Because boy, do we have a good time. Okay, chairman's report. Nothing new has happened on the monuments and ceremonies front over the past month. We have not had any activities. Oh, no, I take that back. I'm wrong. We had the Wreaths Across America, which is not our activity, but is something many of our commissioners
I
participated
have
in.
a question on that. Why
Yeah.
do we have that as an agenda item when the town says we're not supposed to do it? And we have no authorization for it. Why do we do it?
It's not that the town says we cannot or should not do it. It's something that we voluntarily distanced ourselves from because we did not want to ever be in a situation where there was a potential to mix town monies with private monies.
No, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
But we still spend a lot of effort in this commission
Yeah.
doing stuff with Wreaths Across America when I don't know if we should, to be candid. I mean, it's not like we have a specific responsibility. Anyhow, just a thought.
Well, here, let me just jump in here, all right? So instead of, there's a heading in here, but 3 years ago when John King and I first joined this commission, we recognized that they were not raising enough money, and that's why we did it for the past, other than this year, 2 years to raise the money. This past year, they raised money for 1,300 graves, and they failed miserably.
It was an independent group that came in, though.
It's-
It wasn't you
it's
and
not-
John.
it-
No,
No,
they
No,
didn't
that's
have any-
correct, you're
Yeah,
right.
it was not you and John.
Yes, just so you know that. So, I reached out to the gentleman after the ceremony, just actually a couple of weeks ago, and suggested that we get together, John King and I and him. And he sends me back an email saying, great, wonderful to see you on board. Okay. So I said, okay, fine. So I sent them back an email and I copied John King, Rob Hewlett, because he showed an interest, Alex Davidson, and Dave Pollock. And I said, before we do anything in terms of getting together, we've got to come up with a way that we're going to make sure that we never have this happen, the failure happen again. And I haven't heard anything back from him other than the fact that it was a great presentation and it was a very nice day. So, I
Well,
don't,
but Jim, you're doing that as an independent,
right.
nothing to do with
You're
monuments and
absolutely right,
ceremonies.
yes.
Right?
The only reason why I got involved in it is because I was,
Yeah, you wanted to get every grave covered.
no, I was on this Monuments and Ceremonies Commission. I never realized that that was not happening, that they were covering the graves.
Okay.
So that's how I got, John King and I got
But again, it's
involved in it.
because you volunteer as
Yeah,
an
you're
individual.
absolutely right. I totally agree with you.
I just don't know why we still get mixed up in that. But
Could we have a separate group sort of take on how it might be organized better in the future so that you're not going to run into that situation with somebody from outside coming in and usurping?
Yeah, but Terry, I have to be honest with you. I don't know how to go about it. This is why I asked Dave Pollitt, to get involved in this thing. What he said to John King was, we can start a separate group that it has nothing to do with the veterans.
The national
You know?
organization.
Well, we could start another group other than the one that this gentleman, John Carter, heads up. And the reason why John Carter heads it up is because, and Dave, I think, Terry, you gotta correct me if I'm wrong, Dave Pollitt did this for like 15 or 20 years.
he really did? Dave?
Yeah.
Dave?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
He's the one
Yeah,
that looked
this
at-
is,
I
it's
didn't
been
realize.
done unofficially by the Monuments and
Yeah.
Ceremonies Commissioners,
Right,
not by the Monuments and Ceremony Commission.
Okay.
Yeah, and
back to Phil Craft, and
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
even before.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't realize it went back
yeah,
that far.
it's always been the Monuments and Ceremonies Commissioners, many of whom were also members of the VFW. And the way it is structured, any group, there are literally 5 groups on the record, only 3 of whom are active. There are 5 groups that are associated with Spring Grove Cemetery through Wreaths Across America. And the way the group dynamic works is that if a wreath costs $15, the sponsoring group keeps $5. So we've had the Darien hockey team, we've had the Darien swim club, the VFW, and there are 2 others that are no longer active. So if someone were so inclined to set up a group, that it could be funneled through another group as in addition to the existing
see,
group.
the only problem with that is,
It's
by the way,
a pain in the
when John King and I did this, we told them to keep the $5 because they're covering the wreaths down National Cemetery. So that's that. The problem that we're confronted with now is, John and I went out and raised a fair amount of money. We supplied all the email addresses and everything else. This guy that is quote unquote running it now sent an email out not once but twice to all our lists and asked for donations. So John King and I said, what are we wasting our time for? And as a result of that, it didn't happen. So, coming up with another group, I don't know what the answer is anymore, to be honest with you.
Well, is there, do we want to?
There's no action on
motion,
the,
or?
there's no motion for the commission.
No,
Okay.
my
If we're not
suggestion
authorized,
is I wouldn't worry about it in January. I'd pick it up again in September, or maybe June, but
I'd work on it before that, but.
Yeah, I agree with that, but, well, whatever,
Yeah.
let's move on.
It's something to
So I think
progress to
it's-
the next.
Yes.
Right, and it's something that the commissioners felt strongly that we didn't want to let it drop. So I think that's why so many people were involved. But it is not
Right? It's not.
Well,
part of-
there-
due to the funds
from a-
collection and all that.
There are 2 aspects to it. Number 1 aspect was when Jim said that he and John raised a sum of money. They raised a ton of money, okay? But in addition to the hands-on, one-on-one solicitation, which is always more effective, personal phone call is always more effective than a bland email.
Yeah.
But the other aspect of the fundraising that was discontinued over my objections and several others, we used to set up solicitations outside the supermarkets and the donut shops.
Right.
And while that did not raise nearly the amount of money that Jim and John raised and took 5 times as much work, it was, in my opinion, a very strong consciousness-raising aspect that is sorely missed, because not only are you gathering from a broader base field, a field with not as deep pockets as what John and Jim were reaching into, but you're hitting John and Jane everyman. And the kids see it. And we also had a wonderful cooperative arrangement with the Support Our Soldiers group at Darien High School, and had kids actually out helping us. So, to me, that's also something we should look at instituting.
You can do that, but you've got to get somebody to be behind it to make sure it happens, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, as I said, it was decided 2 years ago to not do it over my objections.
But I don't know who made that decision.
It's not worth getting into
Yeah.
in public.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, definitely some areas to work on and think about for next year.
Yeah.
But thank you to everyone that did donate,
And by the way, 13 days, 12 days, whatever, a week from Saturday, the 21st,
first is the day.
is the day we retire the wreaths.
So we can use help from any and all in town. I know they're counting on the scouts, but that is the Klondike camp out for the scouts.
Oh,
What day is
bad
that?
timing.
And it's this
Saturday
Saturday.
the 21st.
21st?
So we definitely are going to be short a few bodies because of that.
What time?
What time did they
I
say?
believe 10:30, but it was in Darien Patch the other day. It's still on the line in Darien Patch for those who might be looking.
January 21st?
Correct.
So just everyone collects the wreaths and puts them into a truck or something?
Yeah,
Takes them?
we take them, put them in the truck, and then bring them to the recycling center.
9 a.m. on the 21st.
9?
9 a.m., that's inhuman for a lot of people.
No, that's
It's the middle of the day for me, but for others, it's...
what idea was that? Gee whiz.
Okay,
All right.
next.
Thank you. Okay, display case. Does anyone, I think that's Autumn and Nancy.
Autumn and Nancy, and it's empty today, I saw.
Okay.
You know, before our meeting, I was speaking with John. I think that our commission should put in an application to take it, to put in a compendium of the honorees for the Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Nice.
I like that.
And
And
I'll
who's
touch
gonna
on
do
that
that?
later.
Oh, you have a program?
That's you, me, Scott Vander Hayden, and I'm forgetting who the fourth member is.
Nancy.
I think it's Nancy, but I don't want to swear to it.
Okay.
Okay.
Of course, if anybody else wants to join,
Yes, we're
Terry,
always
how-
looking for
I've already
people.
volunteered for something.
How long should that be?
how long should what be?
It's in there a
A
month.
month,
Just that's it?
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Wouldn't
yeah.
even have to be a month. I mean, an ideal time, if the case is open, would be around Memorial Day and/or Veterans Day, which is when traditionally we have
Add the signs.
added a new veteran street sign.
Great.
And that's what you want to do it for the street sign program.
Yeah.
And so just for those interested listeners out there, there's a display case in Town Hall, and there is an application that can be found on the town website. If you are a group that has something that you would like to display in it, you can apply and we can review the application. The examples are the Daughters of the American Revolution will have a display about the Constitution coming up in September.
September,
So,
Constitution Week.
things along those lines.
Nonprofit groups.
Okay, so actually Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program is next on the agenda.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to have to call a meeting within the next 30 days if we want to have a new honoree in May.
Okay.
And I was made aware last month, we do have a parcel full of applications in.
Okay.
I was made aware last month of another potential honoree that I'm still in the process of tracking down the information. A Medal of Honor winner who lived in town for over 50 years. So I still don't have the entire dossier, so I can't make the presentation yet.
Okay.
But we will be meeting within this month. And
Someone's applied for this person, though?
no one has applied for the person. I
Oh.
heard through hearsay about him,
Oh, so you're doing it?
and so
Okay,
I'm doing the digging right now,
got it.
along with some help from John Driscoll, he's been a big help.
Not that.
Because I remember you had 4 or 5 other applications.
More than that, yeah.
More? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll definitely have someone for Memorial Day, right?
I would assume so, yes. And again, for those listening, the parameters for inclusion are the individual must have served during wartime, not necessarily in a combat zone, but during wartime, and would also have had to have made a significant contribution to the community as well. And coming back to wartime, in addition to war, if, for example, someone was serving in the armed forces when we were involved in Somalia, it wouldn't count if you were in Fort Russell down in Louisiana. You had to be in Somalia for that, okay? But in a wartime situation, you could have been on a tender oiling ships at sea. You could have been a DI in Camp Pendleton. Didn't matter. You did not have to be in combat, in a combat zone during wartime.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, cemetery committee, do we have any updates?
Terry was kind enough, I guess he sent it to me yesterday or the day before, about Weed Cemetery. So now that I have that information, I can go down to the assessor's office. But just so you know, I had a backup in case we couldn't get this information. Now, the guy, I think it's the gentleman that owned Lawrence Funeral Home.
Oh, yeah.
No?
Jen.
And
The
he said,
current owner?
I'm sorry?
Current owner or the family?
No,
that he's doing it?
Dave Pollitt talked to him because I said to Dave, I can't find an easement. Can you help me with this thing? And he said, well, I don't know, I think it's Ted or something like that.
Jed.
Jed
Jen
Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah.
So I sent an email to him, and he sent me an email back, and I said, give me your cell phone number. But I was waiting on, getting the information so I could go down to the assessor's office myself and find it, and then call this gentleman and tell him that I found it, thank you very much. I'm just trying to keep him in the loop, right? So that's what's going on. As far as the other thing with Rob, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and he didn't send me any new information on
Okay,
it. So
all right.
To be continued on.
Jim, you know the other thing that Rob is doing, right?
Yes, the headstone for the girl who was buried but not with her parents.
Right.
But as I know, there's been no communication back from Guilford, it is, right?
I think so.
I have it in the note. It says,
Started with an M.
oh, maybe it's Milford.
Milford.
Right.
So he's waiting for that.
Yes.
So
I don't know how they're ever going to
Milford?
resolve this, to be honest with you. I mean, it seems like
I
the
don't
records aren't good enough to know where she should be.
I don't know whether the parents are in Milford or not.
Oh, I thought the parents were deceased.
No, I know that, but I'm talking about being.
Oh, buried. Oh, sorry. I don't know where the
They
parents are.
better be
Years
deceased.
ago? Yeah.
Either that or they're
Define
scratching.
science.
I think it's not to do with the,
It's the headstone.
it's the headstone.
Yes.
That's the thing that needs to be.
And we don't know the name of that. I mean, we haven't put the name of the
No,
building
we
in any of
haven't.
our minutes.
Okay. Number 8 was Wreaths Across America update. I think we've updated
Right.
the heck out of
Yes,
that.
we have.
Okay. Number 9, Memorial Day Parade. Last month we had talked about, in your travels throughout the holidays and now onward, thinking about who we might select or consider to be the Grand Marshal and the speaker for the Memorial Day Parade coming up. And as I was putting together the agenda, I also thought, since our emeritus chairman over there has spent so many years as the poobah of the Memorial Day Parade, I thought I would put it out there and see if anyone was interested in being our commission member that leads that charge. And Terry's always
Well,
very
whoever it
helpful.
is, got to get on the horse in the next 20 days.
Yeah.
Because
the emails
the
need to
work
start
for
going
Memorial Day Parade starts on February 1.
out. So I don't know if, or maybe a pair of us could work on it together.
So it needs to be someone.
So Terry, this year someone just needs to get stapled to my back. So that rather than just handing you the voluminous book that you don't want to read through, it's easier to walk you through than it's easier to walk someone through it than to have someone read through it. It really is.
Well, I was just reading about what you're looking for in a speaker, and I
Oh,
will.
oh no, I'm just talking about in organizing the
Separate,
parade.
Terry has
Same
for
but
years done all the communication between the different parties that are involved in the parade and the town. So it gets organized. I mean, it's from the flyover to the bands, to the fire departments, to the police, and he is the communication center. And he has been sending out emails primarily, right? Terry?
Emails, phone
calls,
calls, collaring
just to
people
get all those
outside the
people organized.
firehouse.
Whatever it takes, tackling.
Yeah,
And what he's asking for is someone to work with him through that process.
I don't do the flyovers.
No.
That's Linda.
Oh, the town does that. The
What
town.
about for a speaker? Well, they wouldn't have served in wartime.
So two things, Terry. We
They
don't have to.
we don't use names in public.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
generally what we'll do is
Right, I was gonna
I'll,
just give a general category, but I'll do it offline.
Right,
They
so,
don't, they
so,
don't have to serve,
No, the
No.
speaker does not have to
Right.
serve, only the grand marshal.
Right.
right, so, if you have a candidate or candidates in mind, just circulate the biopic to the other commissioners, and then when we assemble them and discuss them, it's candidate A, candidate B, candidate C, because you don't want to put someone's name out there and then not select them.
Right, understood. That makes sense.
And the other thing is, no elected official.
Agreed, totally.
Currently elected official, is that right?
Correct.
Well, or,
No, you can be, I mean, people, don't you think people who
there are
used
enough
to be?
people that have served in the service in some way that I would think.
Yeah, but that's for the grand marshal.
Yeah, but,
The
you know,
speaker just has to
actually,
be a good public speaker.
some of our most effective speakers have not served in the military.
Right.
And what about, like last year, I submitted a list of names.
I just wrote a note to
Okay.
recirculate
get them.
All right.
Get
the
them.
current crop.
So
Yes,
we'll
that'd be-
recirculate that to this group.
Yeah,
Great, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so again, public speaker does not have to be military.
But speak to the subject at hand.
Right. And the grand marshal must be
Yes.
military.
Okay, thank you.
And as I say, yeah, my term is up and I'm hanging on here. So I don't think I can be the right person to be behind you, because if I drop off, you drop off, then it's gone.
I'm not doing it. Just- That's it.
Well, well, Jim,
Which one are you talking about?
both.
No,
Jim's,
Two Terrys.
the,
he can't do it, not
the-
only because he's not involved,
No.
he goes to Maine.
no, the second requirement to replace me is that you have to be younger than I am.
Well, then I'm in good shape.
Baby,
I mean,
I'm not gonna give you
I'll,
my age over the air.
I'll help you do the parking lot like we always do, but and you do as well,
Sure,
right?
sure.
I
Okay.
think we ought to get the new member to volunteer, and we need to recruit him
Well,
fast.
I have, you'll notice on item
There's-
10, I believe.
There's,
No, item-
yes, item 10.
New business,
Yes.
yes.
Terry's already volunteered. So
To do
let's,
what? Oh, we'll wait till-
Memorial Day
Drum roll.
Parade, we will keep thinking. Terry's gonna circulate the list of names for
I mean,
Grand
it
Marshal
really
Speaker.
is a question of organization
Right.
and execution.
Correct.
I mean, it's not a lot of individuals' blood, sweat, and tears. But he sends out,
Yeah.
I bet you there, I don't know how many emails you copied me on last year, but it was a lot to all these different organizations, some of whom didn't get back to you right away, da, 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 da.
Most,
Keeping the
not some,
spreadsheet of
most.
who did and didn't.
So you have to keep on dinging them, you know, that's what I say.
Yeah.
It's a question of organization.
The
and
person who
executive
takes
direction.
over should also have very good Excel file skills.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
somebody just came to mind.
And it does
Good.
not have to be a commission member.
Correct.
Oh, it doesn't?
It
No.
does not.
No.
Oh, well, that.
So if
well,
The
There's
Memorial
someone
Day,
out
like
there-
everything else, the Memorial Day Committee is a subcommittee of this commission. You do not have to be a member of this commission to serve on any subcommittee. Much like the Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program, we've got 3 people on there who are not members of this commission.
Okay.
And there were a number of years where it was a separate group of people that organized the parade, and then we organized the ceremony in the cemetery afterwards. So
Okay.
please let us know. sueann.shore@yahoo.com. Contact me and let me know. Okay. I want to get to number 10 for Terry, since she needs to leave a couple minutes early. July 4th ceremony, Declaration Day that we've talked about on and off. Our newest member did volunteer. She put her hand up for that, so you go ahead and, if you want to.
Well, Jamie Stevenson and I went to a ceremony in Greenwich this past July 4th, and we've long been, in our time to get working together, we've just been very appreciative of the Declaration of Independence and the reason we need to celebrate it and keep it alive, especially for the young adults in town. So we'd love to work on that together. And we do have a template from Greenwich, and they'll share everything they did. It's about a 35-minute ceremony, and it involves all ages, and it was lovely. It was
So
absolutely lovely.
do you have you put any bones at all yet
Well,
on a place and a
wait,
thought?
hold on. This was about an hour ago that I volunteered.
Oh.
I'm pretty efficient, but.
You don't have it done yet.
It's not ready? Where's the flyer? Come on.
And so I did reach
Open to
out.
all ideas.
I did reach out to one of my friends who is involved in the Colonial Regiment reenactors. And they do not, as of 10 days ago, do not have anything scheduled for July 4th. So
Well, if I've been voted into this, I guess, I don't know what the process is, if you would share that contact info with me, that would be great. Thank you.
All we say is thank you for volunteering.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah, the bar's pretty low yet. Very much, you're on
And
it.
the other thing to keep in mind, Terry, you know Scott Vanderhaven, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Scott organizes the push-pull parade.
Yes.
So just make sure you touch base with him so that your timing does not conflict with his timing.
Yeah, because I think that steps off at 10 o'clock.
It's definitely a morning thing,
Right,
and it's not terribly long.
right. No, I remember
Yeah,
many of them.
yeah.
That'd be a nice, wherever that ends up.
Right. maybe
Doesn't
we
it end
could
up at
coordinate.
McGuan?
Now it ends up at McGuan. It used to end up at Tilly Pond.
Right, but, yeah.
Now it starts at the high school, ends up at McGuan. It used to start at Goodwives and end up at Tilly.
That's cool.
So,
Very cool.
okay, good.
Good,
And
thank you
you've
so much.
spoken?
You're welcome.
You've already spoken to
Jamie?
Jamie,
Yes,
and she's on board.
yes.
And I know that the Museum of Darien was able to outfit John Zagrodzky and several others in very nice colonial outfits.
I went to that,
So did
yes.
So there's
Barbara
props
Thorne?
around somewhere.
That's right.
Barbara Thorne was in it?
Yeah.
Yes,
So that,
yes, thank you, Terry, good reminder.
excellent. Okay. Well, thank you. All
And,
right.
you know, I mean, if you're looking for somebody who's really good at nuts and bolts and organizing, and it's right up her personal alley and her semi-professional alley, Karen Kreitzberger Pollitt,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, yes,
okay?
very much so.
Miss Organization
Yes.
herself.
Right. Okay. Okay, well, that concludes our old business. Do we have any new business that anyone would like to bring up? Okay, well, do we have a
Carabillo?
Carabillo?
Do you know what a Carabillo
Motion.
is?
Motion.
Wait, we have to ask Terry if she,
I
before she votes.
I need this handshake and now the
Oh,
Caravello.
well, the Carabillo is the handshake. So Ed Carabillo, 82nd Airborne in the Korean War, who was a long-standing member of this commission, he was always the first one to want to get out the door. So we have always had an unofficial, instead of asking for a motion to adjourn, our code word for adjournment is a Carabillo.
That's very funny.
So we ask for a Carabillo in memory of Ed Carabillo.
Yeah.
Carabillo.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much.